Okay, get you some way to do a step, get you a chair. And here's the deal. Many of you who have been coming on with me, so I'm going to call this the brain connection workout. I put my chair over here. I generally have it over here because that's your right-handed, left-handed, how you use things. Just this little change here is going to make me make brain connections that I wouldn't otherwise make. That said, I'm going to be using my weights, and I'm going to start out even with extremely light weights. So I'm going to pick them up. I have my little light box on here, so that's giving me an extra measure of light today while I'm doing my workout. Now, these are very, very light. So what does that mean? For me, it's a 3 pound and a 3 pound, and it comes in this little changeable weight configuration. That's number one. Number two, you see I have a step here, okay? Some of you might be saying, well, I don't have that, Jeannie. What do I do? Use your little pad. So you either have a higher step, okay, like this, or you have a lower step, like this. So here's the thing. The reason I'm doing this is because typically stairs are avoided by people with joint issues, right? Right. Well, because it hurts. Let's change our posture a little bit and get warmed up. I'm going to use the lower one since that's pretty much what everybody coming on has. This little step stool for me was specifically made for workouts. See, it's very stable. It's 8 inches high. This is a balance pad. It's 2 inches high. So I'm going to use that because that's what most of you have. And that's good. So here's what I want, and I keep hammering at this. Every single workout, I don't care what it is. I don't even care if it's the one where I said, you don't want to get out of bed, so let's do it in the bed. That workout was last year somewhere. If I'm stepping on a pad, the very first thing I will look at when somebody steps up, the very first thing I'll ask myself is, number one, when I put pressure into that step, where do I feel the pressure? In my foot. I'm going to turn it a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. See here? See, primarily when you go up a stair, and the reason you avoid it is because you enter into it like this and you already push your knee out, okay? And you already are doing this, and hopefully you're holding on to the side rails. And one more thing that I forgot. When you're working on stepping into a platform, I don't care how low it is, get you a pole. If you can't place your hand on a wall or a chair or a counter, you understand what I'm saying here. You got to set your area up. And if I were just doing this all by myself and I didn't want to hold on to something to help me, I would be next to a counter. I would have my chair next to me. So hopefully as I started you stepping that you're doing that. So always have a safety feature. So you don't have to use it. See what I'm doing? Okay. I'm stepping up, I'm pulling the knee up. So I'm taking the extra step of pulling the knee up for this little warm up. I have my little pole here. I can use it if I need it. However, what I'm wanting you to really scrutinize with me is, and I'll tell you, when you go from 2-inch lift to an 8-inch lift, that is a big difference in height. All right. That is a big difference in height. So if you're doing this using your stairs, whatever steps you have in your house, going upstairs, downstairs, whatever, I'm telling you, I hope you register what I'm about to say. This is one of your best friends in keeping your independence. There is whole huge studies on people that have stairs in a primary room. You have to get to a kitchen, a bathroom, a bedroom to go into independent living versus dependent living. So you see what I'm doing? Number one, what you should definitely notice is I have my little pole. If I choose to go up higher, that's a longer amount to fall. It's the same way here though. If you misstep, see I'm bringing that knee up. I have this if I need it. But here's the thing, when you put your foot here, before you put pressure, how far out are you pushing your knee? That's number one. Okay, number two, how far forward are you leaning? How far are you pushing your chin out? Very important issues. So either hang on to your little pole like this, let it facilitate a hingy move with your upper body, your back, your shoulders. See, I'm just stepping. I'm not, I was gonna say the other point when I'm stepping. Do you see that I'm not going fast? Okay. Some of these things you need to not go so fast. And here's the deal. I'm going to use this pole right now because I notice when I step on this leg, this is my hip replace side, as I pointed out before, I tend to over lean, which gives me a wobble look appearance from side to side. And some of you with hips replaced, knees replaced, you know what I'm talking about. And if you don't know, I'm telling you, that is our tendency, is to do that little bit of a wobble. Now, mine is exacerbated, excuse me. It's exasperating too. Because one of this leg is shorter. Yeah, it's like, a half inch or so shorter. That's quite significant. Okay, stay with me. See, I got my pole. See, up. And I want you to pull the knee up because I don't want you leaning forward, which is what we do when we go into stairs. We're just determined. And so we go like this and we hunker down and we lean out way too much. So I'm saying, stay upright. Yes. Take a big breath. Bring that knee up. See, we can do that because we're doing repeated stepping. And if you're on this pad, it's throwing you, which is one more reason to make sure you have your pole as a little safety touch point for balance. And we don't have to, we can really pay attention or attend to our posture. Yeah, bring that knee up. So when you watch people, especially younger people, think about yourself, the way you attack stairs. My way right now is so much different than I used to. Man, I used to carry all kinds of stuff going up and down stairs. Yeah, before all the joints replaced and before I'm, having my birthdays. So take a big breath through the nose. I didn't even say that yet today. And yes, I'm continuing because some of you do a few willy-nilly ones and you go, oh, that's enough of that. So I'm saying, pull your tummy in. If you're using a pole to stay straight on, okay? Make sure you don't bring your shoulders up. So it's just a gentle step up there. It's enough time to pull that knee up and to pull your toe up. See that? And it's a steady state, but it's gentle. And every time I go to step down, I'm starting to go back further and further. I don't know if you've noticed that, but if I step up, and now I'm gonna step back further, I have to bring my ribcage up even more pronounced, okay? Then I'm gonna step, bring my knee up, and step further back. So I'm winding in some really important moves here with your feet and your ankle. We really worked on feet on Wednesday and foot placement, etc. So I'm going to be using these stair steps periodically through the workout today. Okay, but right now I'm going to pick up my light weights, and I'm going to be changing my weights, so stay with me. So what you should have noticed if you did all those steps with me, now if you just kind of sat there and watched me and said, oh, that's not very hard, I'm not going to do that, then you wouldn't have to turn on the fan because you're not warmed up. I'm warmed up because I did all of that stepping. So now I'm going to do a tap and do a tap. I'm going to turn around here. I'm going to do a tap and a tap. Okay. Now again, let me warn you, I have weights in my hands. There are some of you out there that are fun-sized that should not go into this unless you have your pole in your hand, okay? I'm just giving you this as a suggestion. See, the lower one, yeah, that's very doable. This one, very doable. See that? But when you turn around and you go into your chair, and remember, why did I change my chair to over here? I usually work from this side because that just feels right to me. I reach for my weights in a certain way, you know, all that. This is called brain connection workout. And all I had to do was change the position of my chair. Woo! Who would have thought? But when I go into this, if I don't really stop and think of my positioning, and you just go and try to put that leg up there willy-nilly, you will be off balance, and some of you will be heading to the floor, okay? So I hope you're listening. Number one, step wide, shift, drop in, drop the shoulders down, drop the hip, press the hip back, shift. When you bring that leg up, bring it all the way up, bring it back down. I have a 3 pound and a 3 pound that I'm hanging on to right here. And I'm just going to work like a piston. See this? So I'm starting into back loading. I'm starting into hip loading. I'm starting into foot, ankle, knee loading. Simply by shifting, hip hinging, putting the weight right in that leg, bringing that leg up, exaggerated lift. I have my weights in my hands. They're lightweight. Then I'm going to start going just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I'm not going fast. Take a big deep breath. Shift. 2 words when you're doing this kind of a work. Shift and set. See, I'm going to shift my weight, drop my shoulders, set myself, then bring the knee all the way up and bring it down, okay? So I am honing in on little things that shift your brain so that you have better balance. And I'm going to go into the whys of that through this workout. So now, instead of doing this with my hands as I lift my knee, Okay, I'm going to go out. It's going to throw my balance. Okay, so here I come, shift, out, bring it back in. You see the hip hinge? See the hip hinge right there? Yeah. Shift, set, boom, and come back. Shift, set. You see how I pulled myself up right there? And then elbows back. See, I didn't say elbows up. Some of you have shoulder issues that when you put any kind of weight in your hand and you make certain moves, that shoulder talks to you. So we want it to get better. We don't want to injure. Okay? So shift, set, rib cage up, hip hinge, soft knee, back down. Shift, drop my chin, drop my shoulders. I'm gonna pull those elbows back. Then come back down. Big deep breath, two more times. Ready? Rib cage up, hip hinge. Okay, so here's the thing. A lot of times when I tell you to do a hip hinge, and rightfully so, you do the hip hinge, you push your butt back, but then you bend in really far. So sometimes we will do that, but right now, no. I want you to stay pretty much upright. You do a gentle hip hinge, you shift, you pull those arms back, bring that up, bring it down, shift, shoulders down, bring that knee up and put it down, and then come back off. So there's the coming up, and then there's the coming down. And a lot of times we lose it on the coming down. And why is that? Because we did not pull our toe up. I know it. Kathy knows how important toeing up is to this move. So shift, set, rib cage up, bring that up. See how I pull my toe up? And now I got to take this off of here. And if I just barely drag it off, well, I'm going to get myself in trouble. So what I'm telling you to do is set, lift, and when you lift the knee, you lift the toe. Okay? Some of you might think I'm belaboring the point. This is such an important point. Okay, so now I'm going to do kind of a frog squat. Yeah. So I'm going to take my toes out just a little. So instead of being straightforward or trying to be straightforward, I'm going to go out just a little. Then I'm going to hip hinge. Then I'm going to come down into that squat. See this? I got my light weights. I'm prepping you for what's to come. So we're going to come up and press into those heels and come up. And when I come up, my elbow is bent and I'm going to come right to here. Okay? So push your butt back. Toes are out just a little. I'm going to come up. My elbow is bent. See that? I'm going to come up and bring that arm up and bring it back down. So I'm entering into the shoulder loads very carefully. Keep my chin tucked. Drop your shoulders. Big breath. Press into the heels. Come up and come back down. Check in with your shoulder. How's that feeling? Pretty good? Okay, rib cage up. Right there. Bring her back down. Here we go. Heels. Boom. And come back down. Keep your chin tucked. Here we go. And come back down. Stay with me. Stay with me. Think about your moving. See, you're all the way down here. Your back is very extended. I got 3 pounds and 3 pounds. I'm going to come up. Keep my elbow bent. And come back down. Drop into the heels. Breath. And come back down. And then every time that I come up with this very light weight, I open my elbow just a tiny bit more. But I don't open my elbow if I can't keep my shoulders down. Keeping your shoulders down is a protective move for good shoulder work right now. Take a breath. Yeah. See, every time I come down, I go into my heels. I'm pressing. I'm going to go down a little bit lower, little bit lower, little bit lower. Bring those arms down, bring those arms down, bring those arms down all the way. Heels, heels, heels. Come right up here, then come right up here. I know it. Should have felt that right in here. Primarily right here because I have my toes turned out a little. Big breath. Yes. One more time. Here we go. Hip hinge. Yes. A little froggy move. Just a little froggy jump move. So if I had you as a kid in my gym right now, I would put this move into frog jumps, actually. But you'd be absolutely amazed as I'm explaining this amazement point. I'm continuing the arm, the shoulder extension. See? Big breath. Here we go. All the way up. So going into the froggy jump, and as I did this with my kids in the gym, it's amazing to see how many kids cannot do this move. And why? Because they cannot extend their back. I know. Even little kids. You have to be trained how to move. Why? Because we strap our kids into car seats from the hospital home and they can't move. That's the point. Okay, now stay with me. We're going to cross over. We're going to do the same froggy hip hinge. See this? Only we're going to come down here. Okay, we're starting to load. And now instead of coming straight down, I'm going to cross. I'm going to come over here and put that weight right there. And then I'm going to come here. And then I'm going to put that weight right here. See that? And then I'm going to come right here. And I'm going to come up. Got it? Now I'm going to go down and pick them up. All right? Across the body. So that one little cross. This right here. I've taken my toes out just a tiny bit. Just a tiny bit. Not slew-footed, but they're not straight is the point. Because I'm trying to get you to innervate right through here. Okay? Push the butt back. Keep your chin tucked. Flat back. Come down. Here we go. I'm going to get this one. So I'm going to go down first. I'm into my heels. I'm going to grab it. Bring it here. I'm going to grab the other one. Bring it here. Now put it back down. Put it back down. Take a breath. Right here. Keep your chin tucked. Grab. Grab. And come up. I know it. That should have got you right here. That's what we're trying to go for. These are light weights, but it's a task. And it's not only a task, it's across the body task. Okie dokie. So come back up. Now I want you to just push, soften your knees, push your hips forward. These hip bones come forward with your knees soft. The bending will take care of itself if you just soften your knees. So why am I doing this? Yes, it's for your back, but it's also for your feet, your foot load. So if you're in your heels, you're pushing your butt back, and then you come up, drop your shoulders. I still have 3 and 3, okay? Just like this, palms are out. Soften your knees. Push the hips forward. Yes, as you say, rib cage up. Yeah, keep your shoulders down. You're going to feel in your feet. The pressure is totally different. Hips forward. Push. Push. And then come back to neutral stance right here. I know. Who'd have thought? Okay. Light weights. Since we're starting with our weights, I'm going to do the upper body work first in this little workout. Then we're going to put on our leg weights in just a moment. So there goes my weights. And I'm gonna go up. And I'm just gonna go up to the next one. Something in a medium range. Whatever you think of as medium for you. Okay. I could pick up 12 in this, but I'm gonna pick up a 9 for the first set. I may change it. Okay. So here I am. And we're gonna do some combinations. So we already know how to do the froggy stance. It's a wide toe out stance. So I'm not encouraging that for everything with what we're doing. So you just want to pretty much be shoulder width, a little wider than shoulder width. You want to be able to hip hinge and keep your rib cage up. Then you're going to come pull, you're going to come pull. See that? So this is our first set. So when I come up to this point right here, I'm pretty straight standing. I'm not locked out. My knees are not locked out, but my rib cage is up and I'm standing up straight. And here's the last thing. Squeeze your gluteals. Yes. So it's a pull and it's a pull. So I'm moving right along in this set. Soft knees to a stance. Soft knees to a neutral stance. See that? Keep your shoulders down. Keep your shoulders down. Keep your shoulders down. Take a big breath. Through the nose, through the nose. So even if you can't breathe out through the nose, breathe in through the nose. Yes. See, I go soft knee, hip hinge, a tiny hip hinge, and then I come up to straight. So see, I'm doing this whole move with my body, my whole body. I'm not just standing stiff and doing this curl. Okay, now I'm going to change the focus. Okie dokie. So it's the same move, only I'm going from a hammer curl to a bicep curl. Yeah, it was both using your bicep, but a little differently. Okay, so when I come up here, my knees are soft. That's number one. My rib cage is up, shoulders are down. Now soften the knees and bring it down and down. You're gonna come up and up. Then you're gonna go down and down. And some of you are letting your shoulders go, okay? Why do I know this? Shall I show you the little slug I have in my bookcase? Oh, I hope you're laughing. Okay, take a big deep breath. Drop your shoulders. Yes. Turn your palms out. Yes. Rib cage up. Yes. Soften your knee. Now straight up. Now soften. Now straight up. See that? So every time I do a curl, see, I'm staying rib cage up. So I'm working on back extensors. I'm working on all my leg musculature. I'm working gently on my hips. Keep your palms turned up. Take a breath. In through the nose. Woo! Take a big breath. Yes. Right there, rib cage up. Yes. Okay, now stay with me. Both hands right here. See that? So little tiny hip hinge. Pull. Okay. Now bring them down to halfway. Right there. Now just come here and go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and stay with me. Woo! Take a breath. Rib cage up. Shoulders down. Soften your knees. Here we go. Breath. 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 And down. I know. Okay. So now I'm going to come here in front of my chair. Okay. And again, some of you came on a little later. That's okay. We're glad you're here. But you notice I changed the position of my chair. Now, while I'm explaining this, I want to put my feet almost on the outside of the chair legs. Not quite, but almost. And I'm going to go down. and I'm gonna go down, and I'm gonna go down, and I'm gonna gently sit on the chair. Okay? Listen, there are those that you love that you can't get them to do anything, right? Well, they're probably not paying you enough to give them advice. So don't worry about them. Do this little move yourself. I have 9 pounds and 9 pounds. Okay, I just added 18 pounds to my frame. I'm going to go from a sit down to a stand up several times. Think about your form. Your legs are at least the width of your chair legs. Got it? Now I'm going to hold this. I'm going to hold these weights pretty close to my body as I stand. That's one very good principle to remember when you're lifting things. Are you ready? Take a big deep breath. When you go to press, to stand up, you're going to do that very important transferring in your feet. You should feel the pressure in your heels. If you feel the pressure in your heels, much easier to get a great hip hinge, okay? Here we go. Take a breath. Bring those weights right here, but keep them close. You're coming right here. Take a breath. Exhale, heels, and come up. You got it? Stay with me. We're going to do this 10 times. Back down, not fast. Come right in here. Breath, heels, and up. Back down. Breath, heels, and up. Do not bring those knees in. Okay? I know some of you were bringing your knee in. I know it. How do I know this? Well, I just do. I won't bring up the fact that I know sluggy ways. Okay, stay with me. Stay with me. I'm not going fast. Do not hold your breath. That creates not good pressure in your diaphragm. All the way up. Can push hernias. You don't want to do that. You just want to be able to put a pretty good amount of pressure into those legs, heels. Breath. Get ready. Exhale. Right there. Don't bring those knees in. Do not. Breath. Here we go. 2 more. Just 2 more. You can do 2. Okay. That was 1. Keep your knees open. That was 2. Take a breath. Bring it right back down here. Put your elbows on those knees. Go into the heels. Now take the elbows off and come down. Yes. Okay. In this position, you're going to hip hinge big time. Take a big breath. Bring your legs in just a little because we're going to do that alternative move to this move. Okay, I'm going to put my weights down because I've had them in my hands a lot. I'm going to open my hands, give them a break. Okay, I didn't mean that literally. Give them a little break. Yeah, stretch them. Open those hands out. So I'm hitting a very important principle here. Some of us stay in the seat a little longer just to finish up whatever task it is you're doing at the desk. Oh, I just have 5 more minutes, 10 more minutes of something. Take a break, okay? Your hands could use it. So you do this, you bring those elbows open into a W. If you can't remember anything else, at least remember that. And then just take a minute to do a sit to stand. So I'm in a W right here. Take a breath. I'm going to hang out here. I'm going to hip hinge, drop my chin, take a breath, exhale, and reach. and go back into the W. See that? So when you do your W, make sure your elbow is down. Your thumbs can just go from your elbows being here to opening at the armpit, and then your thumbs are here. You got that? Then you're going to come out, and you're going to come down. Then you're going to finish up whatever the heck you needed to do. That was so important that you couldn't even take a break to give your structure a chance to function better. Okay? Go right back in. Take a big deep breath in through your nose. That's always a good thing. Do it with 3 breaths. If you can't take a minute to do three deep breaths, then I don't know. Go pick out a color of a bedpan that you really like, because it's what you're going to be using. I'm trying to be encouraging here. I'm trying to be motivating. Okay, pick up your weight. Now your hands are ready to proceed. Okay? Now you're going to hip hinge. Some of you are going to hip hinge a lot. Some of you are not going to be able to hip hinge a lot unless you round your back. Do not round your back. We're really highlighting a hip hinge. I've been doing it now in several different positions. Now I'm going to go pretty tight with my hip hinge. Do you see that? You see how I'm coming down here? Keeping my chin tucked. Do not round your back. The minute you start rounding your back, and if you did this and I was with you right now, my hand would be right here. And as you close your hip right here, with your shoulders down, your chin tucked, breathing through the nose, as you close your hip right here, if I feel any kind of flexion in your lower back, we got to stop right there. And that's where you're going to be until you get where you can come down without bending your back or flexing it. So now my hands are here, whatever position. Let's say you could only come here, that's fine. Bring those arms up and then push those hands back. And then roll those shoulders together. And then come back in and come back up. So those of you who have started this journey of being very intentional about putting, there's about 8 very important moves in a Strong Men, Strong Women Stay Young program done by Miriam Nelson. You can find all her work on the Mayo Clinic website. I'm intentionally putting moves in there to hit strategic muscles and joints. And there's only about 8 moves. Now, we're doing a lot more than 8 moves. You see what I'm doing right now? I'm keeping my elbows in, dropping my shoulders, keeping my chin tucked, rolling the shoulder in. Then I release, come back here, and then I push them back. Now I'm going to keep them back there. And I'm going to do just little moves. I call them flicks. See, I'm just flicking. I'm not bouncing. I'm pressing this back, keeping my shoulders down, pressing it back, keeping my shoulders, kind of like a little bit of a rowing action. Okay? See how I'm going to release? Now I'm going to push my shoulders down, roll them toward the back. Okay, this is an extremely important move, not only for the backs of your arm muscles, of the triceps, but for your trapezius. It is right underneath and behind your back here. Okay, that's the trapezius. It's like a triangle. It's right there. Okay, it connects everything into the neck. And so it controls a lot of shoulder, chest. It works on those bones and muscles in the upper back. Okay, I've been doing all this from this position because some of you find yourself in that position. I'm going to go ahead and go a little lower. Okie dokie? For the second set. So stay with me. If you can come down, then come down. Here we go. Elbows are in. And I'm going to push back. Bring it in. Push back. Bring it in, push back, bring it in, keep my elbows in the whole time, keep my elbows in the whole time, keep my shoulders down, roll in, breath, stay down, breath, stay down. Okay, here we go to the little flicks. Stay with me, here we go, push, and roll those shoulders in, roll those shoulders in, roll those shoulders in. Put them right down there. So all of this I did with 9 pounds, okay? Now I'm gonna take my hands right here and I'm gonna go right to here. So this is different, this is a W. This is different, okay? If you had shoulder issues, some of these moves, because everybody's injury is just a little different, everybody's little issue that they have to deal with, they have to learn to manage, a little different. So find out what gives you that little catch. You see what I'm doing? So instead of doing this, now I'm pulling like this. And I'm coming up a little higher. Okay, and I have a little trick shoulder myself. Okay, so everybody has their issues that they have to manage. It's called manage it. Yeah, you don't just quit doing something, you do it differently. So this is what I'm trying to get you to do. And here's the thing. We just did, a couple of sets with a medium weight. Now I've changed the focus. And instead of my hands being up here or being here, now I'm bringing those elbows up. Yeah, that brings out a whole different paradigm of movement. So see that? Then I'm going to go rotate, and then I'm going to go up. You see that? And I'm going to rotate, and I'm going to go down. Okay? So I'm going to stand up, and I'm going to change one weight. I'm going to change this side of my weight. Okay, so this is going to stay about a 9. Because anytime you're rotating and you're using shoulders, especially if you're going to go up past your ears, and some of you maybe shouldn't go past your ears. You're going to have to decide that. But if I'm going to do that with this shoulder, and I know to do it safely and to get benefit from it, I need to go a little lighter on one side. Okay? So I lightened up. So now I'm at a 6 and I'm at a 9. Okie dokie. Take a breath. Yes. So we're going to take this, and we're going to come like this, and we're going to come like this. See that? So drop the shoulders. I'm going to come here. I'm going to check out my shoulder. How's it feeling? Take a big breath. Rib cage up. It is very dry. Yes, I need to get my humidifier going now. Because I can tell. Sorry. Okay, come here and then rotate and then push. You see that? See that? See that? Yeah. So careful with your shoulders, guys. Then I'm going to go right here. See? Keep my wrist still. Don't curl it under. Keep my elbow as high as I can. Then rotate down and then come up. Okay? So this little move right here. See that? And then come down. Okay? So I'm going to come here. So I'm doing one at a time. I'm not going to do both at the same time because I know what a shoulder issue is. I'm going to come here, take a big deep breath. See, my elbow's up here. The weights are right here under my chin. Then I'm going to rotate and come up. Got it? Now I'm going to do it on the other side. So I'm going to come here. I'm going to get that elbow up there. Watch your little wrist. If you want to curl your wrist under so that you don't have to pull your elbow up, well, you know what that is, right? Yeah, that's a little cheater move. So It's not a cheater move if you modify, because you have to be aware of what you're doing to modify. Don't just modify to avoid the pain. You want it to get stronger. So you go with a lighter weight and you still do good moves. So back up. See that elbow up there? Come back down. Do that again. See that? Big breath. Yeah. Big breath. Okay, hold it. Okay, now drop and push. And you don't have to go any further than here. See, if you don't want to go up, you don't have to go up. Okay? But if you can go up, do it a couple of times. Take a big deep breath. Breath. In through your nose. Exhale. And bring it down. Okay? Are you ready? Drop your shoulders. That's number one. That's a protection. Then you're going to bring this up by lifting the elbow. See that? Drop your shoulders. Bring that elbow up. Drop the shoulders. I know. Then you rotate. Then you go up. Then you bring it down. So let me just tell you. If your shoulder has given you troubles going up over the head, might be contraindicated for you, meaning you shouldn't do it. But most of us can get to here with no trouble. So I'm just loading it gently. This is the trouble shoulder, the trouble, the challenge. How you like that? See, we all have challenging issues. You always have a kid that's a challenge. Well, you know, you change your approach. See what I'm doing? Yeah, so what I was gonna finish saying is, if you have a shoulder that is giving you trouble on and off, you got to start lighter weight when you're doing some of these over the head kind of lifts. So I can just tell you that, like right now, I'm feeling it. Yeah, and I'm a lighter weight, but this is a steady move up over the head. Then I'm going to bring it down and come back in. I know. Okay, going to interject a little move here. So we have covered all the moves so far, down to, I think we have three more moves with the legs. But before we do that, we are going to take a little interset break. So what do? We push our butt to the end of the chair, number one. We pull our heels down and our toes up, and we get them out there, okay? That's number one. Number two, drop your shoulders. I know. Why do I have to keep saying that? Because I have to keep saying that. But so follow through and just do it. We get into a habit. We get into a postural habit. It's hard to break that or to redirect it. I'll say we're redirecting. So I'm all the way here at the end. My shoulders are down. The heel of my hand with my weight gloves is right here. See that? And I'm going to inch my little butt off the chair. And if you're long-legged, then you got to step out a little further. But my little short-legged, fun-sized people have to be careful too. Okay? So that you don't get under here and impinge your knee when, in fact, you come off the chair. Okay? So keep it out there, a little wider. Drop your shoulders and ease yourself off the chair. Just hang out there for a little bit. Keep your shoulders down and just do those little pulses. See, they're just little pulses. Take a big breath through the nose. Little pulses. Stay with me, stay with me, stay with me. Breath, breath. Three more, three more, three more. And then sit your butt back up on the chair. Swing your hands. Right here. Swing your hands. Yeah. Take a breath. Take a breath. Yes. Take a breath. Take a breath. Okay. Now stay with me. We're gonna get up off the chair. We're gonna put our leg weights on, okay? So I'm telling you, if you don't have a leg weight, that's fine. Do all that we're gonna do, okay, without a leg weight. So it should be very easy for you to get up off your chair. And then what did I do? I did a very important move for most of us. If you're fun size, not so important. I lifted where I'm sitting for 2 inches for a very important reason. Okay? So you sit. Let me see what time we have here. Oh, you gotta hurry. Okay, time flies when you're having such fun. Okay, 2 ways of putting this on. If you want to go all the way to the floor, great, but don't round your back. Put the ankle up and put it on that way, okay? But keep your back extended. Don't have a tiny little bend and think it's not going to matter. It does matter, okay? So you decide if you go all the way down and put it on like you're putting on a shoe or whatever. Don't round your back. Okay, here we go. I'm right here. Big breath. I'm going to take one weight and I'm going to hang on to it. Okay? I'm going to put it right here under my collarbone. So I'm going to get my heavier weight. I'm going to lean back. Okay? I'm going to lean back. I'm going to scoot back a little bit. Get yourself adjusted correctly and then come right up here. So I'm going to hang out here with this weight right under my chin. And see, I have to adjust because I definitely want you to open at the hip because I want a little work going on right there. Then I'm going to go 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Yes. Ribcage up. 6. Keep going. Big breath. 9 and 10. And then bring it down. 2 things. When I open at the hip and I go to bring this weight up, I am not lifting at the hip. Okay, I'm opening at the hip. I'm lifting through the knee. See, that's where the joint action is. See that? Take a breath. Toe is up. Woo! Big breath. Yes. Big breath. Hang out. Do just 1,001. Just like a little puff right there. Right there. Just hang out there. Right there. See, I'm holding on this 9-pound weight. I'm opening. My rib cage is up. Now I'm going to the second set. Drop your shoulders. Keep your chin tucked. 1. Take a breath. Breath. Big breath. Yeah, keep it going. Got about 4 more. Stay with me, stay with me, stay with me, stay with me. Okay. Bring it down. Open at the hips. Come to the other one. Big breath. Toe is up. Big breath. Big breath. Okay, 3 more, 3 more, 3 more. Stay with me. Stay with me. Stay with me. Yes. And bring it back in. Big deep breath. Okay. Here we are. I got 1 weight that I'm holding right here. I'm going to keep it close. I'm going to hip hinge. I'm going to stand. So I'm going to come right here. Okay. I got my weights here. I'm going to come here, shift, and here. Okay. So I'm going to go that way. Then I'm going to go to the side and just shift. See how I'm just holding this in here? I'm shifting, tightening in my tummy, softening my knees, and I'm lifting. Shift, lifting. Shift, lifting. And what's lifting? Act like I have a string tied onto your ankle. And it's attached to your ankle bone, possibly your heel. That's what I want you to lift with. Okay, so shift, lift, stay down into a hip hinge, shift, lift, shift, lift. Take a big breath, get set. Okay, so if you have replaced hips, you've got to set. You shift, then you set, then you lift, because you're putting all that pressure, okay, properly placed on that support leg, the leg that's on the floor. Okay, so it's not the working leg that's actually it's so hard on. It's doing that one-legged, and you're lifting to the side. You're lifting into a whole different plane of motion than the forward and back. See, I'm staying in a hip hinge. Set, set. You gotta set before you lift. Okay, if you don't set, you're just gonna be throwing it with your back. You gotta lift with that heel leading. Breath, heel leading, breath, heel leading. Okay, I'm gonna take this, put it down very carefully. Gonna bring my little chair. And again, don't step on your weight. I know we're at the end of the class. Push down on the chair, rib cage up. All I want you to do is get that toe back there. See that? Squeeze your butt. Soften this knee. Lift. Now you are lifting from the hip, okay? But what you're not gonna do is turn the toe out. You gotta lift with that heel, and you gotta lift from the hip joint action, not from your knee. Okay, 3 more. Take a breath, drop your shoulders. Don't throw the weight. Squeeze through the gluteal. Okay, shift, put the other leg back. Drop your shoulders, tighten through the gluteal. Boom. See that? Right there. Big breath, rib cage up. Here we go. Boom. I know it. Take a breath. So it has to be from the hip. Don't turn your toe out. Push down. Gently, just gently. Okay, 2 more. We're there. And then, let me see where we're at. Ooh, I know. Okay. Okay. So, right at the end of class, we go toe, then we go heel. You can do this many ways. You can do it all into the toe, but you gotta squeeze your butt. Gotta squeeze your butt. Okay, then release. Now bring the toes up, okay? And just hang out there. Just hang out there, see? So I keep my little weights on. I can be leaned up against a wall and do this, which would be fine. So these are the ones you're going to continue to kind of do. And I would love, I didn't bring this into it, but I want to show you what I would love to have you do on a stair. I know everybody's got to go. Get your little self on a stair. Those of you with plantar fasciitis, you better watch. At the bottom of the stairs, you drop the heel, and then you press into the toe. And you can do it one at a time to start. You're going to feel that stretch. But when you toe in and you go up into that toe, squeeze your butt. So after you get a feel for it, you're on the bottom stair. Now you're going to go both. And see, you're holding on to the railing or you're holding on to the wall. So that's what I want you to go into, is being able to do 30, I'll say 1 set of 10. It's not so scary, But get to where you can do 2 sets of 15, a steady state heel drop, lifting up your heels. That's what I'm trying to get you to do. Okay. I'm put this into a little brain workout. We could all use that, right? Happy New Year.